Should I start the sugar diet? Should I do a GLP-1? Of course, I have found healing through a carnivore diet, so I'm not going to do that. But I do wonder, prior to this, would I have started one of these two things? And I think the answer is very likely, yes, I would have, because I was so desperate and I was so hopeless. And I am so thankful, grateful, blessed. I'm down 100 pounds since my heaviest, eating a proper human diet. I am no longer depressed. I'm off 15 different medications. My congestive heart failure has reversed. All this is in my medical records. For those that don't believe me, I've shared it many times before. My life has completely been saved by simply returning to a proper human diet. That is how broken and how corrupted and how dangerous our food system and healthcare system has become. So, should I try, let's start with the sugar diet, and then I want to talk about these GLP-1s. The sugar diet. This is insane to me, just because of common sense. I urge anyone that's considering the sugar diet, take a big step back and let's use some common sense. The first thing is I like to use first principles. What have humans been doing since the start of time? Because whatever that answer is, that is in almost every case what is best for us. Since the start of time, we've been breathing air, drinking water, and we've been eating primarily meat. Stable isotope testing proves this, anthropology proves this, common sense proves this. If we could eat the meat, we would. If we were starving, we would eat the plants and the vegetables. Never throughout history have we eaten only sugar. That is absolutely insane to me. That is like your house is burning down. What's the solution? Maybe if we pour gas on it, that'll help. You look around in the world right now, humanity is addicted. Sugar is a highly addictive substance. It lights up the brain like cocaine on an MRI. It's more addictive than hard drugs, in my opinion. It's harder to quit than hard drugs, in my opinion. And people are so addicted and they're not willing to admit it. You look around in the world right now and 70% of people are overweight. We have children, this is criminal by the way, we have children addicted to sugar at a young age, cartoon characters on the cereal boxes, children walking around with fatty livers, type 2 diabetes, teenagers with depression, anxiety at rates we've never seen before. And then if they make it into their 20s or 30s, they're getting limbs amputated from sugar, from excess carbohydrates. And when I say sugar, I'm not just talking about candy. A lot of people don't understand this distinction, but if we're talking about potatoes, pasta, bread, those all convert to glucose in your bloodstream, and you're jonesing for more sugar. Whether you're eating a Sour Patch Kid that has sugar in it, that converts to glucose in your blood, or you're eating a piece of bread that converts to glucose in your blood cannot tell the difference. And in either of those cases, I would be jonesing for more sugar. That sugar addiction would be perpetuated. The fact that we are a humanity that is addicted to sugar on a scale that we've never seen before. And if you guys think I'm being dramatic about this, just try to take a big step back and look around. Go to the grocery store, sit on the little bench by the grocery store and watch everyone walking in and out. You see people that are sicker than they've ever been before. Fertility rates are in the ground. Depression is going through the roof. Obesity, heart disease is the #1 killer. 1,600 people a day dying from cancer, which is a result of chronic inflammation. And in most cases, it's a result of chronic inflammation from eating the wrong foods. Why would we continue to eat the wrong foods over and over again to our detriment? Answer, because we're addicted. Reason, because of sugar. So the fact that anyone would even entertain this idea that sugar would be a good solution. The other thing I want to say is this. I've done very limited research on this sugar diet. I'm using common sense. I have done a little bit though, and the big proponent is Mark Bell. And I'm like, Mark Bell, who is this guy? He sounds familiar. That's right, I've seen him on Joe Rogan before. A couple of years ago, I saw him on Joe Rogan. What was he promoting on Joe Rogan? At that time, he was promoting Kratom, Kratom. Kratom is a highly addictive substance that I urge you guys do your own research because I haven't done a lot of it on this, but I have come across Reddit groups and people talking about this, and it is crazy. It is a highly addictive substance. Comes from plants. There you go again. Plants are trying to kill you. And there are support groups and people that are going through some of the worst withdrawals of their lives. This drug, they're having heart palpitations. This drug is absolutely destroying them. And this was touted as some miracle that we need to look into closer that did so much magic for Mark Bell and his brother that he promoted it on Joe Rogan. And how many millions of people ended up taking it and are now addicted, and it's to their detriment. I worry in the same way that he was promoting that Kratom, he's now promoting this sugar diet, which is Quick interruption. Beastmode Soap sent me this soap, 100% beef tallow, free to try. This is certified grass-fed tallow, never vegan, made in the USA, natural essential oils. We got forest ash, paleo pine. We're in the pine forest. The forest ash is my favorite. I've been using it for a while now. They sent this to me for free, but I liked it so much I agreed to do a paid partnership with them because I believe people need to know what they're putting on their body. And the soap that I had at home is full of chemicals, detergents. Seriously, after I use this soap, my skin feels so soft and so incredible. What you put on your skin ends up in your bloodstream. And I only want to put good things in my body and on my body. And this, there couldn't be much better. This is 100% beef tallow. Learn more at beastmodesoap.com. People are inevitably hooked to sugar. And if they're not completely addicted, they're certainly going to be completely addicted after their sole and entire diet becomes eating only sugar. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane to me. Sugar has zero redeeming qualities. It's all detriment. We know it rots our teeth, but everything else it does to our body as we become addicted to it. Inflammation. You have chronic systemic inflammation for long enough, it damages your blood vessels, you end up with heart disease. They blame the cholesterol. But the root cause, it all comes back to our escape from what is natural. And that is primarily through eating these just insane amounts of sugar. And the other thing he's promoting is fruit smoothies. And all of our fruit nowadays is just big balls of sugar that man has engineered to be sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. An apple used to be this big, now it's this big. It's a big ball of sugar, hits your blood as glucose, spikes, and boom, you're jonesing for more sugar again. Not to mention the fact that what we are doing with fruit right now, back to my first principle, never done throughout the history of mankind. We've been eating meat, drinking water, breathing air. We were never eating fruit multiple times per day out of season and then juicing it. It will completely wreak havoc on your liver and destroy your liver. There is an epidemic of fatty liver going on right now. And it's not because everyone's drinking alcohol, although that's a contributor to fatty liver for sure. It's mostly because people are consuming copious and insane, incredible amounts of fruit out of season. They're juicing it multiple times a day. This has never been done throughout history. That fructose goes straight to your liver and it is destroying the livers of the world, and your liver is central, absolutely central. Shout out my good friend, Coach Lisa Pickert. She is the liver expert. She taught me all about this. I encourage you to do some more research on that. But if you think juicing fruit and eating it multiple times a day is going to be good for you long-term, it's absolutely insane. And if you're trying to do this, I'm just going to do the sugar diet temporarily. Okay, I'm just going to do some cocaine temporarily because then maybe I'll drop some pounds. Well, newsflash, at the end of it, you're going to be addicted to a highly addictive drug that is going to steal your free will and drive you in another path until you can break that addiction, which is going to be near impossible for so many people. That's going to set people down the wrong path for potentially years and years. I had a woman on my channel, addiction specialist, Kathy Dixon. She's incredible. She's amazing. She's been eating carnivore. It saved her life. But she had one slip up. And she told me, Carrie, that one slip up, even me being an addiction specialist who teaches this in a college, who's been doing this for a long time, I had one slip up. It threw her off her healing journey for over a year. She couldn't get back on track. One slip up. So what do you think is going to happen if you're eating nonstop sugar all day, every day? It's insane. It's absolutely nuts. So that is sugar. Now I want to talk about these GLP-1s because just like eating sugar every single day for every meal is a complete departure from what humans would have naturally done, ancestrally done from the beginning. GLP-1s. I want you guys to listen to this following statement. I've said it before. In the history of mankind, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I barely graduated high school. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, go do your own research, but can we just talk common sense and not science? In the history of mankind, since the start, since man took his first breath, there have been countless weight loss medications like Ozempic, like this GLP-1s, countless, too many to count. Every single one of them has been pulled from the market because of its detrimental, life-threatening side effects. They were literally killing people or almost killing people or causing heart valve problems that would kill people 20 years later to the point that they've pulled them off the market. Never in the history of mankind has there been a weight loss medication like these miracle Ozempic GLP-1s they're promoting. Never, 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 never. Out of all the countless solutions they've brought forth, none of them have ever worked. And do you know how I can prove that to you right now? Common sense. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. Common sense. If any of those prior medications were safe and effective, they worked, and they didn't kill you, why would we even be talking about Ozempic or GLP-1s right now? Everyone would be on fen-phen right now. Do you guys remember fen-phen from the 90s? Everyone would still be on fen-phen right now, and we wouldn't have 70% of the population overweight. We wouldn't have 44% of people obese. We wouldn't have 9 out of 10 people with poor metabolic health. We'd all be walking around happy and healthy like we were before we started eating all of this garbage food. There has never been a safe and effective weight loss medication ever. This would have to be the miracle of the century. This is the first time in the history of man we've been able to cheat Mother Nature. We've come up with this concoction that allows us to take a shortcut. It allows us to continue to malnourish our bodies with the wrong foods to a lesser extent, and that's going to be a long-term win. That is insane to me. That is absolutely insane. I mentioned fen-phen because I had close family. Aunt and uncle took fen-phen. I remember I hadn't seen them in many months. We were at some family get-together. I couldn't recognize them. They lost so much weight. I'm like, good for you. You guys finally found something that worked. Fen-phen, go research this. Don't take my word for it. Got pulled from the market, heart valve issues, killing people, and many of those side effects were not even noticed until 20 years later. What do you think is going to happen with this Ozempic, this GLP-1, this miracle drug? There's going to be no detrimental long-term side effects. And then people that are quitting this GLP-1, they gain all their weight back. Not to mention all of the lawsuits that are coming out now from this. People are suicidal. It's causing gastroparesis. It's wrecking their stomachs. Goes back to my first principle I mentioned when we talked about the sugar diet. This is a complete and utter escape from what is natural. Never throughout history would we have taken an injection in our stomach that would then allow us to continue eating the foods that we shouldn't be eating so that we could lose some vanity pounds, which is what most people are doing. I need to lose a couple vanity pounds, so I'm going to inject this thing into my stomach and let's just wing it. I'm sure there's not going to be any long-term side effects from this one when there has been for every other medication in the history of mankind. It's just insane to me. It's a complete escape from what is natural, and it's dangerous. Now, here's the thing. I want to say this. If you want to do the sugar diet, that is your decision. Go do it. If you want to take GLP-1s, I'm not judging you. Go do it. What I am judging right now and what is making me upset is influential people touting this and saying it's the greatest thing in the world. Has 20 years gone by? Do we know the long-term side effects of this yet? Do we truly understand the risk-reward of doing something like this? You have someone like Oprah.
Are these new drugs a miracle cure, a silver bullet for weight loss? Can anybody take them? Are they safe?
Going on and saying this is the new thing, this is the miracle thing. Meanwhile, she's been touting every other weight loss solution. She's the voice of Weight Watchers. How come if Weight Watchers worked and you got paid millions of dollars to promote Weight Watchers, why are you talking about Ozempic right now? If Oprah wants to do this, great, do it, Oprah. But she goes on and she tells millions of people with huge influence that say, oh, if Oprah's doing this, it must be okay for me. And then these people are doing it. How many of these people are going to end up 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 5 months down the road with gastroparesis, suicidal depression, anxiety? How many of them are going to gain the weight back and then some? How many of them are going to go down the wrong path that takes them down that path for years and then maybe 20 years from now they have some detrimental side effect? Because in the history of mankind, we've never been able to take a shortcut and outsmart Mother Nature and not have a long-term detrimental side effect. That's my take on these things. And I know there's some doctors that are saying, well, if you do it under doctor supervision, if you do a little bit, the microdosing, this or that. Listen, do your own research, make your own decision. I will never tell anyone what they can do or put in their own body. I'm only telling you what I believe to be the truth is, and I will only speak the truth, even if that goes against what other people that I respect say, if I believe it to be true. I don't want to lead someone down the path of misery. And there's no way in my brain I can reconcile the fact that this is it. This is the miracle of the century. They've invented a drug that allows us to take a shortcut, outsmart Mother Nature, and continue to do the wrong thing, because that is the root of all of this. Why do people need to go on the sugar diet in the first place? Why do people need to entertain GLP-1s like Ozempic in the first place? Because there's a root cause. And what is that root cause? We are malnourishing our body with the improper foods and we are becoming addicted to them. We're eating the wrong foods. So the solution isn't a sugar diet. The solution is to eat the correct foods that humans have been eating since the start of time. And people that don't believe me, oh, I'll just eat plants, I'll eat clean. Carrie, you just healed yourself because you're not eating pizza and junk food anymore. That is part of the problem. Of course, if you get rid of the junk food, you're in a better place, but that isn't the whole solution. The whole solution is returning to what is natural. Our brains are made of fat. Our hormones need fat, and so many people are lacking those things. You don't get that by taking a sugar diet or Ozempic, a GLP-1 injection in your gut. And that is why when you look around in the world right now, fertility issues are in the ground and depression, anxiety is through the roof. If you look in India, where the vegan, plant-based diet, vegetarian diet is most prominent, they have an epidemic right now of hormonal issues and depression going on. It's all tied to the demonization of meat. Our hormones and our brain need that fatty meat. And if you're going on Ozempic, the root cause that you are overweight and unhealthy is because you put the wrong fuel in the tank. This is allowing you to continue to put the wrong fuel in the tank, just in a little bit less quantity than you did before. But you're still not getting the nourishment that you need. You're still not getting the fatty meat that you need, that your brain, your hormones, your cells, your body, your mitochondria, it needs it. And you're still limiting it, and you're limiting what you're putting in your body to a lesser extent. So your body scale weight's going to go down as your muscles shrivel away at the detriment of all of these other things. Your bone density is horrible. God knows what's going on with your mitochondria and what's going to happen to you years down the road from doing that. These GLP-1s, they don't treat the root cause. And the last thing I'll say on this, because I'm starting to ramble now, is some of these experts I've heard, well, maybe it's a good bridge for some people. That's insane to me. If you can't switch your diet over to a proper human diet now, how are you going to be able to do it after you're taking this shortcut that allowed you to cheat it? And basically, instead of running around the track, you ran across it, you had this little cheat. Now you're going to be in good enough shape to run around the whole track when you weren't in good enough shape to do it the right way in the first place. There are no shortcuts in life. If it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true. That has yet to be disproven, and that is my take on these GLP-1s and the sugar diet. Please leave me a comment down below. What are your thoughts on the sugar diet, these GLP-1s? And if you have found healing through a proper human diet, tell us that too, because I think it's going to inspire a whole bunch of people. My name's Carrie. I'm filming a documentary called Healing Humanity. We just wrapped filming our 60th interview. 400 hours worth of footage all around the world. This thing has turned into an epic. Stories of healing. That's what our documentary is about. Incredible stories of healing. Healing type 2 diabetes, healing lifelong suicidal depression, anxiety, obesity, fertility issues, Parkinson's disease. The healing that we've captured in this documentary, I believe, is going to inspire people to find healing of their own and hopefully change the world, hopefully help heal humanity. That is my goal. We're on the home stretch. Please stick with us a little bit longer. This isn't just some quick documentary we could put together in a couple months. We followed people over the course of a year. This has turned into an epic, and it's going to be worth the wait. We're almost there. We have a ton of editing to do. We hope to release the documentary in 2026. And in the meantime, we're working on a series to go along with it because this is too much information to put into one documentary. We're going to have a whole episode on depression. We're going to have a whole episode on fertility issues, have a whole episode on autoimmune disorders, psoriasis, things like that. And I'm going to do a whole episode on science, and we're going to do a whole episode into GLP-1s and the sugar diet and these other alternatives, vegan, plant-based, all of that. We're going to cover everything with your support. We can't do it without you. So if you're interested in supporting what I am doing, every penny I get in donations, I've been doing this for 2 years now. I haven't taken a single paycheck. I'm supporting myself. My wife is supporting us as we do this so that we can finish this entire thing. I put thousands of dollars of my own money into this project. I want to continue getting these stories out here. I want to go into Arizona and fill Hal Cranmer, the man that is running these long-term care facilities, and he's putting the residents on a proper human diet, and these people are healing and they're going home. We just don't have the budget to do it right now. We have money in the bank, but that's all allocated for editing and post-production and sound design and color grading and marketing. It's incredibly expensive to do all of that. We have the money right now, but if we do it, we're not going to be able to do those things and finish the documentary. I want to keep going and do the series. So if you want to support us, if you want to invest in the future of humanity, if you want to help heal humanity, please visit donate.healinghumanity.movie or buy our shirts or become a member on my YouTube channel. All of those things, every single penny goes towards the documentary. I'm not taking a paycheck from this. The reason I was so sick for so long was because of greed run amok. And there are things we can do. I'm going to prove it with this documentary. There are things we can do in this life, this very short miracle of a life that I have, that we can just do for the goodness of it, for the passion of it, not to line my pockets and make a profit and be greedy. And that's what I'm doing with this documentary. And we couldn't do it without you. So thank you guys all so much for your support. I'm thankful, grateful, blessed. I appreciate every single one of you. And keep in mind, I just did that entire video you just watched there. How long are we right here? I don't even know. That whole video, one take, no edits. Why could I do that? You could do that too. You can do that with no edits and one take when you're firing on all cylinders because you're eating a proper human diet and you no longer have that chronic systemic inflammation that causes brain fog and fatigue. When you tell the truth, you don't need to edit yourself. And when you have energy and your brain's functioning, as all human brains should, but they're not because we're all walking around in this brain fog stupor, you could do an entire video like this with no edits either, as long as you're telling the truth. Thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to watch this video we have right up here in the corner of the screen. In fact, I'm going to put a playlist up there of the top videos I have done on a proper human diet. These have the videos that have been changing people's lives. People have been getting a second chance at life, inspiration, the passion, the truth. So please check out one of these videos next. And if you enjoyed this, share the video, comment, get the word out, post this on Facebook. We can't do it without you. Thanks so much for watching.